Hello, friends. Welcome back to my car. In the car with me, Shaun Starr. How's it going, everybody? Good to see you. It feels like we haven't seen each other in a little bit. Yeah, happy Monday. Good to have my boy Connor McKenna is back as we zoom in nice and tight on my face. And we are here and we are ready to go on this Mail-It-In Monday. Connor McKenna back with yours truly on the TSN 690 Morning Show. So the Dream Team has been reunited. And oh, does it feel so good. Thanks to all the support, everybody that listened, contributed to the program while I sat in the big chair for 3 weeks. Lots of fun, but it's lots of fun to have my partner back. The show sounds the way it should sound. We're having fun, and lots of big things coming up on deck as the TSN 690 Morning Show. We go through the month of August, and then we get ready for September, and the real business of sports radio gets back at it. But in the meantime, it is good to be back here in my Ash Gregoire Shaun Nissan Maxima SR 300 horsepower. Ash Gregoire Shaun Nissan. I've been telling you guys for a while now. ShaunNissan.com. It is the biggest, it is the best Nissan dealership in the province. News broke this morning that Cleveland Browns superstar quarterback DeShaun Watson, 6-game suspension for the Cleveland Browns quarterback. And I'm, like a lot of you, kind of surprised. You asked yourself the question, no doubt, how many games was Watson going to get? And the answer, maybe a full season. Well, the answer is 6. He's getting 6. Obviously a bit light. You got to think the National Football League is going to add a bit more to that, but it's not going to be as long as I thought. I thought Watson was going to get a full season and maybe a little bit more. But here's what happens. Retired Judge Sue L. Robinson hands down her verdict, 6 games. Also, DeShaun Watson not allowed to go to massage parlors. Everything athletic massage therapist has to be through the team. But all of this to say, 25 cases, upwards of 30, whole bunch have been settled, and DeShaun Watson gets 6. Let's go through some of the timeline of NFL players that have been suspended by the National Football League for their various grievances, right? You know who the first guy I thought of when I learned of the 6-game suspension for DeShaun Watson? You know who I thought of first, guys? I thought of Josh Gordon, standout wide receiver, ultra-talented, battled his own demons of anxiety and a bunch of other issues that we don't know about. But did you know that in his time as a National Football League or in his attempt to become a regular National Football League wide receiver, DeShaun Watson got suspended 78 times for 78 games. DeShaun Watson served 78 games for marijuana. No joke. DeShaun Watson allegedly had upwards of 30 cases involving sexual misconduct. He's staring down the barrel of a 6-game suspension. Who's the next guy we thought of? Calvin Ridley. He's the next player. You know the story about Calvin Ridley? He's being suspended for an entire season. Why? Because he bet $1,500 on a parlay that his team would win a football game. And look, I understand the differences here. You know, Calvin Ridley's gone for a game. DeShaun Watson is going to get 6. Vincent Jackson got 3 games. He got caught driving as an unlicensed driver. He got 3 games. Plaxico Burress, the infamous Plaxico Burress, when he shot himself in the club wearing sweatpants and he had a gun, you know how many games he got? He got 4. Josh Gordon, 78 games for marijuana. Upwards of 30 sexual misconduct cases for a quarterback. Not only is he getting $230 million in guaranteed money, he's also looking at missing less than half the season, and he's already at practice this morning because in the National Football League, if you get suspended for less than a year, you're still allowed to take part in team functions, i.e. practice. And that's where we are today. But here's the rub. Judge Sue L. Robinson handed down her verdict this morning, but Roger Goodell is the czar of discipline. He can do what he wants, when he wants, whenever he feels like doing what he wants. So what I think is going to happen next, DeShaun Watson, 6 games on the books, I think Roger Goodell is going to pad that up. I think he's going to get 9 games. I think Roger and the National Football League head honchos are going to add 3 more games to this. But that's it. And that's it. And that's why the National Football League has a multi-tiered system for justice, depending on who you are, how much value you carry, and the value you're responsible for a franchise. And the Cleveland Browns gave $230 million in guaranteed dollars to DeShaun Watson. And guess what, everybody? We're going to watch DeShaun Watson play football in the National Football League this season. It's an absolute joke. But the cat is out of the bag. The horses have left the barn. Too late, my friends. There's nothing you could do now. It's been an interesting time, no doubt, my 3 weeks as the guest co-host of the TSN 690 Morning Show. Connor McKenna is back off his 12-week parental leave. So as I said off the top here, the show is humming, and we're already off to a great start. One of the fun conversations I had sitting in the big chair was with Steph Waite, the ex-goaltending coach of the Montreal Canadiens, who came on and said on the record that if he were a betting man, he would believe that Carey Price is going to start the season, is going to be healthy, sees a world in which Carey Price plays no more than 50 games as a window. I think we already had a pretty good understanding of that. And Steph Waite is very close to Carey Price. And, some people, when I put this story out there, and I tweeted it out on July 6th that Carey Price, the expectation is Carey Price is healthy enough to start the season, and he feels good and had a minor therapy done, a cleanup procedure that the Canadiens later on would go on to confirm, something I had told you in early July. Well, fast forward, Steph Waite comes on the show, and he's talking about Carey Price, how close the relationship is. Carey is a traditionalist. He's in a bit of a middle spot, and a tough spot in the dilemma that he's facing, right? Carey understands his place in the historical context of the Canadiens, understands the tradition of the Montreal Canadiens, and really enjoys being a part of that. But the dilemma is he wants to win a Stanley Cup. It's the only thing he hasn't done that he really, really wants to do before he ultimately hangs it up for good. And so they came 3 wins away from doing that. I was told, and I think everybody knows this already, Carey Price has an unmovable contract. Not only does he have a no move, no trade clause, the salary cap, the financial commitment, the years left on Carey Price's deal is beyond unattractive to any other team in the National Hockey League. And then we haven't even talked about the fact that Carey Price isn't the most durable guy out there. So when you put all of that together in a sentence, it leads you to believe that Carey Price will end his career, I would bet, as a Montreal Canadian. And so Steph Waite comes on the show and talks about the fact that Carey is healthy. Carey, last Monday, a week ago today, I tell you that Carey Price was playing golf at Belleuil, Club de Golf Belleuil. And so he's healthy enough, obviously, to play golf, swing, knocking around 18 holes. So he's clearly healthy enough to do that. So I have the interview with Steph Waite, and everything's going well, and he says that he believes Carey Price is going to be ready. Steph Waite says he believes Carey Price has a lot, his words, of good hockey left in him, okay? But understand this, Carey Price is never going to be 100% healthy, and Carey Price is never going to have a marathon season. Everything for Carey Price has to be managed. Load management is the buzz phrase in the NBA. Guys like Kawhi Leonard or LeBron James, it's strategic when you play, when you don't play. And I think the Canadiens are going to take that approach with Carey Price if everything goes according to plan and that there are no setbacks health-wise with Carey Price. The Canadiens have Price under contract, Sam Montembeault under contract, Jake Allen under contract. All of these are insurance policies, the just-in-case for Carey Price. So Steph Waite comes on and says what he says. Fast forward, the Journal de Montréal picks it up, RDS.ca picks it up, TSN.ca picks it up. It's all over the place. Ex-Canadiens goalie coach says Carey Price will be healthy to start the season. Great. So I'm playing golf at my favorite place in the world to go play golf, and that's the Kanawaki Golf Club. And there are a few high-profile members there, myself included, of course. But Marc Bergevin was a member of the Kanawaki Golf Club, right? Marc Bergevin really kept to himself all the time, didn't really socialize with a bunch of members, which is understandable. It's not a knock on Marc Bergevin, not a criticism of the ex-general manager, but he would kind of keep to himself or only play with 1 or 2 guys that were also part of the Montreal Canadiens organization. And again, wouldn't kind of mix with the regulars, right? And that's fine. It's all good. Again, not a criticism of Marc Bergevin. But Marc Bergevin is no longer at the Kanawaki Golf Club. At least I haven't seen him there all season long. But there are other few members of the Montreal Canadiens that are members at my golf club. And so I see a buddy of mine at the snack hole. We have a snack hole in between the 9th and 10th hole. It's called the Ritz, right? That's what it's called, the Ritz. And so I see my buddy with a member of the Montreal Canadiens front office in a golf cart at the Ritz, at the snack bar. And I know my buddy listens to the morning show on the regular. So I'm standing on the 10th tee when I look over to my left and I see my buddy at the Ritz. And so this is how my brain works, right? I see him and I see who's in the golf carts. Ooh, interesting, right? And so my brain works this way. I'm going to go over there. I'm going to ask my buddy if he heard the interview with Steph Waite that I had 2 days ago. I'm going to say it in a loud enough voice that I hope the new member of the Montreal Canadiens hears what I'm saying. Great. I walk over there. I say, hey, buddy, here's Steph Waite on the show. He says Carey Price is going to be good to go. I look over to the golf cart. There's the Habs front office guy looking at his phone like this, smirking. He's got like a sarcastic smile on his face, right? And he's smirking. He's like shaking his head. I make a beeline. So my plan has worked. I said it loud enough that not only was this guy paying attention, now he's not even acknowledging me, right? It's one of those situations. We've all been there, right? We're all staring at our phone, pretending to not listen, but we're really listening, right? And so I see the sarcastic smile. I see that look on his face, and I make a beeline over to him, right? And I pat him on the back. I'm like, what's up? What are you talking about? I said, listen, Steph Waite told me about the maintenance therapy, and Ken Hughes 3 days later came out and confirmed it. And he's like, no, I don't know, Shaun. I don't know. I'm like, well, Steph Waite was on the show, and he talks to Carey Price all the time. He said he just spoke to him 3 days ago. He's like, oh, I don't know about that scoop, Shaun. And boom, he takes off. Lickety split, right? And what I could tell you about that is I will defer to Steph Waite. I will defer to Steph Waite. I think that right now, I think the Montreal Canadiens are happy with the amount of news and information that is coming out, and I think that's where it ends. And I think they don't want to put the cart before the horse and leave everything kind of status quo. So I'm going to go into this season with the idea being the Montreal Canadiens have 4 healthy goalies. Carey Price, number 1, Jake Allen, number 2, Sam Montembeault, number 3, and the Laval Rockets, Caden Primo, number 4. And that's where the Canadiens are. And they will move and react as Carey Price's body reacts. And I think that's all you can really do at this point. Because it's one thing, and I think Connor pointed this out this morning, it's a great point. You know, it's one thing to think that Carey Price is going to be healthy. But what about 2 weeks into this? How is his body going to react, and is it going to recover fast enough that he can get to the ice in October and play a full season and get his full amount of scheduled starts in a full competitive season for the Montreal Canadiens? And then ultimately, if everything goes as it should go, even with Carey Price, even if, right, like, do you plan best case, worst case scenario when you think about decisions that you want to make in your life? Do you think about, well, if I do this, what's the worst thing that could possibly happen? If I do this, what's the best thing that could possibly happen? And I still think that with Carey Price playing that 40 to 45 game kind of window, I still think the Montreal Canadiens are going to be a top 10 lottery pick next summer. And that's the way it should be. And that's the way it should be. Because up front, it's still, we don't know. On the back end, it's still a massive project to rebuild and reshape this defense. And I am optimistic. I am optimistic about the future prospects. I do like the offseason Ken Hughes has had. I do like the offseason Jeff Gordon have had together. So I'm one of those individuals. I'm going to give you my trust until you break that trust. And if you break that trust, the odds of you getting it back again to the level that it's currently at are almost zero. And so I like fresh faces. I like change. I like new voices. I like new faces. I like new ideas. And so everyone from Jeff Gordon down to Adam Nicholas and the new front office, the inexperience behind the Canadiens bench doesn't even bother me. It doesn't even bother me because I am of this opinion that you're going to learn to lose together. You're going to grow from that together. And then ultimately that should mean you win together. So that's kind of where I'm at with this new Canadiens rebuild. And it begins with Jeff Gordon and it works its way down. And that this team next year should be top 10 in the lottery. And that this team gets better incrementally until where they end up as a consistently competitive team that really can attract free agents, sign free agents, make moves at the deadline to deepen their team, and ultimately bring home a 25th Stanley Cup, because that's what it's about. And maybe Lady Luck lands on your lap. Maybe all that can be done with Carey Price. Wouldn't that be amazing? It's great to be back. Thanks for spending some time with me in my car, my Nissan, Ash Gregoire Chambet Nissan Maxima, all blacked out. The SR trim line, 300 horsepower V6 engine. And of course, my longtime sponsors, K-Stop Gas Bar and Depiner, Highway 138 in Ganawage. Super cheap gas. Gas bars open 24/7. and they actually have somebody there that will pump it for you, so you can stay in your car. You can stay in the cool air conditioning. You don't have to get out. It's going to be 40 degrees, but you might want to get out and go inside because they have prepared meals served daily, hot, fresh, also super healthy meals like salad bowls and smoothie bowls and burrito bowls and great snacks that we don't get at our local dépanneur. Take advantage. In the Car with Starr has you. I wouldn't send you someplace that I wouldn't go myself. I'll tell you that right now. I'm not selling out. Anybody that I tell you about, whether it's cars, especially food, I am not sending you any place that I wouldn't go myself. So when I tell you K-Stop Gas Bar and Dépanneur does amazing daily hot prepared meals in-house, fresh garden-grown vegetables, not mass-produced, some farm in California. Everything's grown locally and made locally, serving the community. K-Stop Gas Bar, Highway 138 in Ganawagi, in the Car with Starr sent you. Thank you so much for watching and your comments. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, tell your grandma, tell your grandpa, tell your cousins, tell your auntie, tell your neighbor, tell everybody in the Car with Starr. Shaun Starr, we're back.